Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I was right in a lot of my assumptions about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Mainly that it's a zombies mode not made for zombies fans. But this goes way beyond that, because while Outbreak was just repurposed assets from a cancelled Battle Royale map with a bad gameplay flow, and Vanguard was just a dumbed down version of that, Operation Deadbolt in Modern Warfare 3 is quite literally an extraction shooter with zombies in it. Ever since Cold War, the zombies have become less and less relevant in their own game mode. The focus has been getting farther and farther away from actually surviving against the undead, until now, the game mode shouldn't even have the zombies' name on it. This is almost on the level of running into zombies on the Blackout map. MW3 Zombies has so many elements taken directly from Warzone and DMZ that certain menus still have the DMZ beta logo in them. The point of the mode isn't to survive against the zombies in increasingly difficult rounds with a multi-layered story with dynamic locations and interesting atmospheres. Now it's simply go to an objective point and then do a task while what you're doing is blandly and blatantly told to you by absolute non-characters. Whatever little story there is here isn't even worth what little time they spent on it. It's not the fact that the story isn't about a multi-dimensional time-traveling group of colorful characters, it's just that it's boring and uninteresting with no sense of building around this world the player inhabits. The importance on the individual player has become so muddled it almost doesn't even matter. Modern Warfare Zombies' biggest issue with its gameplay is the focus on objectives and forcing the player into relying entirely on their squad mates to do anything. To get points, you have to do objectives, which while they are scattered and plentiful, without a squad of at least 3, even on the first zone, it can be nearly impossible on solo. The solo player has been left completely in the dust in this game. If you wanted to play zombies by yourself, or just don't want to have to plug in your mic and do your own thing, you will struggle to have any kind of fun. And the worst thing about the game's disregarding of the solo player is the nature of the mode itself. The mode is a 24-player extraction shooter. You know what that means? That means that one day, when this game is dead, or when the servers eventually get shut off because there is no solo mode, this zombies mode will no longer be playable. No other game mode in the history of COD Zombies is like this, because every other mode had both co-op and solo in mind. Even more evidence that the game isn't solo friendly is the lack of a pause button, which is obviously due to it being an online mode, but therein lies the problem. The mode was made that way. It's not like Vanguard where they were just lazy and didn't add it because they couldn't figure out a way at launch.
Guys, why can't we pause the game in Vanguard? Can somebody please tell me why Call of Duty is using servers for solo play instead of allowing us to create it on our own consoles? That means that if you're in the midst of zombies or whatever, you have to go to the toilet, or you have to go answer the door, or you have to go attend to somebody, you cannot pause the game.
This mode isn't developed with a pause button even in mind. The only solution to this problem would be to run to the very outskirts edge of the map and hope that zombies don't spawn on you. A major element that just compounds the disinterest with this mode is just simply the lack of anything new. While the giant open world may be a different location, it's not terribly interesting and could be substituted for any Battle Royale map. But furthermore, there isn't one single enemy, or perk, or piece of equipment that we haven't seen before, which is so utterly disappointing. There was a time when new maps provided something new, content that was exclusive to that experience. And the only thing that this mode truly has that is new is the Wonder Weapon. That is it. I enjoy Zombies as it was from World at War to BO4, but this mode just isn't for me. That doesn't mean that it's entirely awful, but it's just not for traditional zombie players. Which makes me frustrated in the fact that they can't make a good classic experience along with this new mode. It cannot be that hard to take a single building on this giant open world, add some zombie personality to it, and give it rounds. When this mode isn't making me feel complete apathy, it's making me feel frustration with the enemies it has. Not the zombies or the bosses, no, with the mercenaries. Why am I fighting human AI in a zombies mode? Them being completely out of place is one thing, but they are absolutely horrible to deal with. They are the equivalent of veteran bots from the campaign. They can beam you from 40 yards away in an instant and strip your armor and health. They make the Stormkriegers from Vanguard look like a good idea. This is just a complete joke. I want to play zombies, not Spec Ops. This is just absolutely disappointing and sad that the game mode of zombies has fallen this far and completely lost its identity. And this is developed by Treyarch. Treyarch made this mode for Sledgehammer's game. Again! Is this better than Vanguard? Is it better than Outbreak? Honestly, I can't even compare them. This isn't even a case of me fundamentally disliking the nature of the mode like Outbreak and Vanguard, because those at least had rounds, or worlds, or whatever. This is just so far removed, it honestly isn't even zombies. The zombies are just so irrelevant. This is objectives, and driving in cars, and looting like Warzone, and fighting human AI, which are the real biggest threat because they hit you from a distance with hit scan weapons. MW3 Zombies is nothing more than a means of leveling up your weapons and to serve as the reasoning for another camo grind. When the ultimate goal is a pretty color on your gun instead of a deeply memorable and rewarding experience, I just have one question. If this is what Treyarch is comfortable with for the last 3 zombie games, what makes us believe that their next one will be any different?